Good evening. Welcome to your organic groups. I'm Pastor Rich, and I just want you to take a moment, and if you haven't read 1 John chapter 2, go ahead and stop the video and do that together now and answer the 4 questions that we ask. What is God saying? What does it mean to us? What does it mean for others? And how do I apply it to my life? Well, I hope you had a good discussion. And I just wanted to focus on verses 7 and 8. It says, "Dear friends, I am not writing you a new command, but an old command that you have had from the beginning. The old command is the message you have heard. Yet I am writing you a new command, which is true in him and in you. Because the darkness is passing away, and the true light is already shining." And he's calling this old command to love one another. And when Jesus gave this command, the Pharisees came to trick Jesus. Well, you got all these commands in the Old Testament. Which one's the greatest? They're trying to put Jesus into this box where he has to admit that one is greater than the other and whatnot. And Jesus wasn't having any of this. And Jesus then said, the first one is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And the second one is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. John is just restating this, but he's calling it an old command. When he wrote the epistles, there was probably about 60, 70 years after the death and resurrection of Christ. So to those people, it would be an old command. And so John is writing this to the people around him so that they understand that it is still the same. It's the same command that Jesus gave us before he went to the cross, before he died, and before he resurrected, is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So God just telling us that command is the command by which all commands fall. If you're loving the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and you love your neighbor as yourself, you're keeping all the commands. And that's what God is encouraging us with through his word. What does this mean for me? Well, it means I need to love God with all of who I am. It means I need to put God first in all that I do, all that I think, all that I see. God needs to be put first. What does that mean for others? It means they need to put God first. But we can't hold them to that same standard if they don't know Christ. So the first thing we have to do is share the gospel with them. They have to hear Christ, to know who Christ is, and know that Jesus died for our sins. And once that's happened, then we can hold them accountable to loving the Lord their God with all of their heart, with all their mind, with all their soul, and to love their neighbor as themselves. How do I apply it to my life? It's just in everyday life. We keep God in the forefront of what we do. See, when you're at work and you want to skip a step in the process of what you're doing, but you know that it's going to cause problems down the road. It means doing the things you're supposed to do. It means when you get up and you go and you clock in at work and you're a couple minutes late and you get around the clock in and tell them you're on time. It's when you're going to school and you got a paper and you're cheating. You've copied the paper. All these things they add up. It's speeding on the highway. Running the stop sign in the middle of the cornfields. I mean, we've all done those things. But in our lives, our everyday lives, we are to hold on to those things and to not break the laws. because God has given us those commands. So are you loving the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and you're loving your neighbor as yourself? That's something for you to wrestle with. And this week, I hope that you will. So until we meet again, I hope you have a good evening. Your homework for next time, of course, is 1 John chapter 3.